Welcome to today's webcast on sustainable consumption with AWS. My name is Akshay Chaturvedi. I am a senior data analytics consultant at Thoroughgood and have drawn on my experience and expertise to bring you today's presentation. You can also feel free to get in touch with us via the contact details on the screen if you wish to have a longer discussion about today's topic. We will share our contact details again at the end of the presentation. For today, our agenda will start with a brief introduction to Thoroughgood. We will then set context by looking at adoption of cloud architecture as a sustainable strategy for organizations. We will then do a high-level introduction to the various AWS cloud offerings. And finally, we will look into the various AWS sustainable consumption practices and principles. For those of you who do not know Thoroughgood, we are an independent niche BI and analytics services firm, including services in strategy and roadmap, requirements, design, implementation, training, and support. We are headquartered out of London with offices all over the world. Our clients typically span from different data-rich verticals: consumer goods, pharmaceutical and health services, retail and banking, insurance, with experience across the board in various functions of these verticals. As I mentioned, we are independent in that we don't work with one specific technology. Instead, we partner with a wide array of technology firms in the business intelligence and analytics market, including back-end, front-end, and analytics-driven technologies. We find this independence is helpful to have a holistic view of the space instead and help understand our customers regardless of their current data landscape and identify the best possible solutions for our customers based upon their needs. Now let's discuss the need of thinking cloud services as a sustainable strategy for organizations. So first of all, we look at what green computing and what green cloud terminology means. So when businesses start adopting a policy to ensure that the setup and the use of the information technology leave the smallest possible carbon footprint, this is known as green computing. And the study and practice of designing, manufacturing, using, and disposing of computers, servers, and related subsystems is often referred as green cloud. A major source of energy use and carbon emissions for enterprises and public sector organizations is their self-owned and operated IT equipments and data centers. Based on a recent report by 451 Research, which was commissioned alongside Amazon Web Services Institute, it was found that moving enterprise IT workloads from on-premises data centers to the cloud can reduce energy consumption and associated carbon emissions by nearly 80%. Cloud data centers achieve far higher resource utilization and greater energy efficiency than your typical on-premises data centers. For example, cloud setup in a APAC region is 5 times more energy efficient than your typical on-premises data centers in the Asia Pacific region. Cloud service providers also run servers at high levels of utilization, leveraging their ability to share and dynamically allocate resources across customers' workloads on the cloud. Cloud service providers also run these servers at high levels of utilization, leveraging their ability to share these resources across workloads. Thus, a move to the cloud should be part of any enterprise and public sector organization's sustainable strategy. AWS offers a wide range of cloud-enabled tools and resources that helps customers and partners to simplify and accelerate innovations towards achieving sustainability-related outcomes in their own businesses. Before exploring some of these principles and strategies that AWS is employing in the area of sustainable consumption and architecture, let's first look at the various offerings of the AWS cloud architecture itself. So a good starting point would be to look at the Gartner's recent Magic Quadrant for cloud infrastructure and platform services. Until 2019, the category was called as cloud infrastructure, And now they have included platform services, which includes platform as a service capabilities of the cloud vendors as well. Clearly, you can see that there are three leaders in this category, with AWS pioneering the industry and followed by the second closest competitor, Microsoft, who are not that close in the chart. While there are many reasons, Amazon's obsession towards customer needs, their drive towards building innovative services, and their 7-year head start in the cloud industry are some of the reasons of them being so successful in this journey. And add to that list also their focus on ever increasing global infrastructure across many regions and countries. They have regions across 6 continents, out of the 7, except for Antarctica, where they have launched 24 launch regions, 77 different availability zones, 8 different wavelength zones, 210 plus edge locations, and 12 regional edge caches. And this entire thing covers roughly 245 countries and territories they serve. Now, let's look at some of the common and relevant AWS components as part of their services. So the first one to look at is Amazon S3. S3 is serverless object storage service that offers multiple storage classes at varying costs depending upon the frequency that you'll need to access the data. Some common use cases are building data lakes, hosting static web pages, or static assets. Next up, we look at AWS Glue. Glue is a fully managed, serverless, and cloud-optimized ETL service. You can do all sort of transformations using custom coding in Python, or use one of the existing transformation steps while using Glue Studio, which you will get to play around as and when you explore Glue. There's also another facet to AWS Glue where you can create data crawlers to crawl multiple data sources like S3, databases, and build data catalogs that will hold metadata in a single place. Amazon Athena. With Athena, you can directly run simple SQL queries on data stored in S3. With Athena, there's no need for complex ETL jobs to prepare your data for analysis. This makes it easy for anyone with simple SQL skills to quickly analyze large scale data sets. Amazon Kinesis. Kinesis offers key capabilities to cost effectively process streaming data at any scale, along with the flexibility to choose the tools that best suit the requirements of your application. It enables you to process and analyze data as it arrives and respond instantly instead of having to wait until your data is collected before the processing can begin. The Amazon Relational Database Service provides cost-efficient and reliable capacity while automating time-consuming administration tasks such as hardware provisioning, database setup, patching, and backups. RDS is available on several database instance types and engines like Aurora and SQL Server, among others. Redshift is a petabyte scale cloud data warehouse that provides fast performance that can be scaled for limitless concurrency. Redshift Spectrum executes queries across thousands of parallelized nodes to deliver fast results, regardless of the complexity of the query or the amount of data. Lastly, QuickSight is the first BI service with pay per session pricing, and that you can use to create reports, visualizations, dashboards on data coming from multiple sources. So these are some of these PaaS services that are offered by Amazon AWS. And towards the end, we'll also look at some of the measures that AWS has taken to improve the consumption on these resources so as to nudge towards sustainable consumption using these resources. Now let's look at and discuss various AWS consumption practices and principles. So customers and AWS share accountability for environmental sustainability. AWS maintains sustainability of the cloud by delivering efficient shared infrastructure. And as a customer, you optimize your workload to efficiently use these resources provided by AWS. AWS follows two sort of pillars into this but while you're setting up your sustainable consumption. One is the AWS well architected review, which helps cloud architects build secure, high performing, resilient, and efficient infrastructure for a variety of application and workloads. Built around six pillars of well architected infrastructure, which are operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and sustainability. The AWS well architected review provides a consistent approach for customers and partners to evaluate their architecture and implement scalable designs. Looking at the sustainability pillar in a bit more detail of the well architected framework, it provides design principles that you can use to optimize your workload for sustainability in the cloud, like understanding your impact, establishing achievable sustainability goals, maximizing the utilization and using managed services, anticipating and adopting new and more efficient hardware and software offerings, reduce the downstream impact of your cloud workload. The other work which Amazon AWS Services is working on is the Amazon Sustainability Data Initiative, commonly referred to as ASDI, which helps researchers, scientists, and innovators around the world advance their work on sustainability related research. This program provides publicly available free access to important scientific data that can otherwise be hard for researchers to access or analyze. The program also supports innovators with cloud grants and technical expertise. Now let's look at some of these principles in a bit more detail. Measures to measure the environmental impact on your workloads and propose organizations to meet their sustainability goals. The well architected review helps you to size your workloads appropriately to ensure high utilization, and by getting rid of or cutting down of idle resources, you can lower the overall amount of energy needed to power your workloads. Identifying the networking and data movement optimization that can help reduce the energy, minimizing the resources you use and increase the utilization of resources so that you run your workloads in the best possible manner. By sizing your workloads and in enabling rapid adoption of new and more efficient technologies also helps you reduce the impact of your workloads. AWS has launched various managed services that shift the responsibility of sustainability optimization methods. So we should always look out for deploying these managed services while using the AWS PaaS offerings. Now, looking at some of these offerings in a bit more detailed, where AWS has implemented and achieved more sustainable consumption through these services. So first, let's look at S3 that we discussed. We should be looking out to use the new storage tiers in the Amazon Elastic Block Store, also known as Amazon EBS, which supports new storage access patterns with the Amazon S3 offerings. It enables you to delete the data that you don't need by using lifecycle policies with fine-grained controls that uses the new actions and filters that are enabled on S3. Using storage optimization for AWS Lake Formation to reduce and optimize your storage with its garbage collection and data compaction features is something which AWS has introduced in the latest offerings of S3 and can help organizations achieve their sustainable consumption in terms of storage of the data. Now we look at something called AWS Direct Connect cycling. AWS offers Direct Connect cycling as a service to enable connection of an on-premises network directly through the AWS global network. This helps your data travel more efficiently across the shortest path rather than using public network. Other services like AWS Snow, AWS IoT Fleetwise can also be used to eliminate physical tapes and store your virtual tapes in the cloud with cold storage, as well as reduce the amount of unnecessary data transfers within the cloud. AWS SageMaker and AWS Lambda are services where AWS has progressed a lot in terms of ensuring sustainable consumption. Amazon SageMaker Inference Recommender can be used to optimize the resources you use for your machine learning models, and thus reducing unnecessary usage and cutting down on your consumption costs and enabling sustainable consumption. You can now filter events in Amazon Simple Queue services, generally known as Amazon SQS, DynamoDB, and Amazon Kinesis, to reduce the number of Lambda function executions. Both Amazon SageMaker and Amazon Lambda are services where Amazon is working tirelessly to increase the performance and optimization of these services, thus reducing the amount of energy and usage that is required, thus reducing the carbon impact on the environment. Another aspect that can be used in AWS is putting your workloads on the new price performance hardware using the latest Amazon Elastic Cloud instance families. The Amazon S3 event notifications and Amazon Event Bridge services make it easy to build event driven applications that are flexible and scalable with AWS. Amazon serverless, Amazon managed streamings for Apache Kafka, also known as Amazon MSK, serverless, Amazon EMR serverless managed services are different examples of managed services that AWS offers, which are scalable, have high average utilization of resources, and are optimized for sustainability. Now that we have looked at the various offerings of AWS and their approach towards ensuring sustainable architecture, towards architecture leading to sustainable consumption of the cloud resources, let's look at how Thoroughgood can help you through your cloud journey, be it setting up of a new cloud architecture or migrating from an on-prem, or helping set up the right governance in place for your AWS cloud architecture. Thoroughgood provides services right from development of AWS architecture, setting up of the architecture, gathering requirements, designing of the architecture, migration from on-prem server, and testing and rolling out the entire architecture. Thoroughgood also provides continuous support and advice to ensure AWS tools are being used efficiently to realize the full value of AWS cloud. We also run a host of predefined training content on more advanced AWS topics for enterprises embarking on widespread AWS adoption. We also work with various organizations to recommend best practices on optimization, security, compliance within the architecture in your organization. Now that we have looked at these offerings, these are some of the various case studies and webcasts that are available in our perspective section of our website. I would request everyone to look at these and reach out to us in case you want to discuss on any of these topics further. Thank you for joining us today. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out with any of the questions. Thank you and have a great day.